What can I do to help?
Well, nothing.
Well, there must be something I can do. Let me, please. You look so helpless.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Do you remember when you were in Hazelhurst? You must have been about 10 or 11. We'd all been to Scotland for the summer holidays. Do you remember?
Lochimba.
Daddy went trout fishing. I sketched. We went for picnic teas in the heather. And then we had to go back to India. You had to go back to school. Back to Hazelhurst.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes, of course I remember.
We took a taxi to the school. And as we drove away, you tried to run after us. We ran along the drive after the taxi. Your arms were flung wide. Your mouth was open. You were saying something, shouting something, but I couldn't hear what it was. There were some shrubs by the school gates. Rhododendrons, I think. It was like a great green curtain being pulled across in front of my eyes. The shrubs hid you from my sight. I couldn't see you anymore. For a moment, I felt quite breathless with panic. I wanted to jump out of the taxi and run back and hold you in my arms forever.
I had no idea you felt like that.
About 9 p.m, Mr. Turing went out of the room to make a phone call. He left his jacket on the arm of a chair and I knocked off £8 out of it. After a while, he came back to the kitchen again. He leaned over me, put his head on my shoulder and pulled my hand between his legs. I wanked him again, but he never touched me. I didn't do this for my own benefit sexually, but I heard that you could get paid for it. I'll never do it again if I'm given a chance. I know that it's wrong.
Okay, Miller. Sign here.
Just tea. Tea and cakes.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, Prof.
It's good to see you too.
Thank you for writing to me.
Well, I wanted you to know what had happened, and I wanted you to hear it from me, and not, you know, second-hand.
Thank you.
Oh, it was in the Sunday papers. One headline said, accused had powerful brain. So it could have been worse, I suppose. But their use of the past tense rather worried me.
I've thought about you a lot. It must have been awful.
No, actually, no. It wasn't as bad as I'd feared. They put me in cells during the trial, and being behind bars was by no means disagreeable. There was a wonderful absence of responsibility. It's rather like being back at school.
Did you think that they were going to put you into prison?
No, not really. No, I was a first offender, after all. There's a laugh. First offender. No, I thought they'd most probably put me on probation. They're giving me drugs.
Who are?
They're giving me estrogen. Female sex hormones. It's supposed to kill male sexual interest, but it's only for a year. After that, everything returns to normal. We hope.
That's dreadful. Couldn't you refuse?
No, I'm obliged to do it. No, they put me on probation, provided that I agreed to the drug treatment. I'm growing breasts.
Oh, Helen.
And nobody seems to know whether or not they'll disappear when I stop taking the drugs. Oh, well, just have to wait and see.
God, how dreadful.
The embarrassment factor is high. Keep wondering if I'll have to wear a bra.
How did your mother take it?
Yes, I dreaded telling her. Absolutely dreaded it. As it happens, she was wonderful. Remarkable. It seems to have drawn us closer together.
I'm glad.
Yes, so am I.
What happened to the boy? The
The boy, oh, he was conditionally discharged. He works in London, I think. I don't know, I never see him.
Oh.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you're married?
Yes.
No job?
Just a housewife.
Are you happy?
Yes. Well, I suppose so. Don't really think about it very much.
Well, that means you are.
I do hope you're not too unhappy.
I'm not unhappy at all. I have some very good friends. I had a very jolly holiday. Norway.
Norway?
No legal problems in Norway. I was told that there were places there where they held dances for men only. It's not true, unfortunately. But I did meet the most charming young man called Kel. As a matter of fact, he wrote to me last week. Wants to come and stay. A few days, chez moi. Obviously, I made a good impression.
What sort of work are you doing?
I'm at Manchester University.
Yes, I know that.
We've built a digital computer. Do you remember all my theorizing about universal machines? Well, we have done it. We've made one. It's all thanks to our work at Bletchley.
How exciting. That was so exciting.
And I'm using the computer to simulate the growth patterns of plants and animals. Like the Fibonacci patterns in a fir cone. Do you remember me telling you about that?
Yes.
On summer's afternoon, and you thought you were in love with me.
I went to church with your mother. I cried all through the sermon.
You have not changed one bit. Do you know that?
It's kind of you to say so.
No, it's true. Oh, it seems a long time since Bletchley.
Doesn't it?
Oh, a lifetime.
I wonder if your tea mug is still chained to the radiator.
No, I was told off about that.
Who by?
Dilly Knox.
Poor Mr. Knox. I went to see him when he was ill, near the end.
Oh, that was good of you.
Well, I was fond of him. He was so ill, they were saying prayers for him in the church. Mr. Knox was furious about it. Christianity is a 2,000-year-old swindle, he said. It makes you fear where there is nothing to fear, and hope when there's nothing to hope for.
Oh, good. No, he was a remarkable man.
I suppose you knew he was homosexual.
What?
Well, homosexually inclined, anyway. He was supposed to have had some sort of romance with Maynard Keynes.
Knox?
When he was young.
Are you sure?
Well, an uncle of mine was at school with him.
Good God.
Lytton Strachey, too, although that was at Cambridge, not Eton.
He was Lytton Strachey's lover.
Apparently. I thought you knew.
I hadn't the faintest idea. I mean, he never even dropped a hint.
Well, I don't think anybody paid much attention to it. Everything's so very different when you're at school or university.
Good God almighty.
I mean, it was a thing of the past. He was devoted to his wife.
Oh, yes, he told me. Well, that's what you do, isn't it? You have your fling when you're young, then you conform later. I should have married you. Yeah, well, this would never have happened. I should have played the game and stuck to the rules.
Why didn't you?
I couldn't.
Mr. Turing, sorry to keep you waiting. Everything's at 6s and 7s here today. My secretary's gone down with flu, and the temporary girl doesn't seem to know what she's doing. Do sit down.
Thank you.
It's good of you to come along at such short notice. Thank you very much.
Well, your letter was rather vague.
Well,
Well, official, but rather vague.
well, it's just one of those things that's done better by meeting than by telephone. Basically, it's simply a question of keeping in touch.
How do you mean?
You're a brilliant man, Mr. Turing. Unique in many ways. There's no point in trying to deny it.
Well, no, I wasn't going to.
This country has always tended to take its brilliant men for granted. That's a mistake, a serious mistake. We can't afford to make mistakes like that.
Who are you? I have no idea who you are.
I'm sorry. My name is Smith. John Smith. Nobody believes it. I have a dreadful time with hotel clerks. Anyway, the point is this. It would be foolish to pretend that your homosexuality hasn't created problems and certain anxieties.
For whom?
But providing we can discuss the situation reasonably, I feel sure that these anxieties can be reduced to a minimum.
What anxieties?
I say it's simply a question of keeping in touch.
You're talking about security problems.
I am. Thanks to Messrs. Burgess and McLean, the Americans are getting increasingly jumpy. They have, after all, given you access to some extremely sensitive information. There's a general feeling of unease.
About me?
Of course, we know that you're a man of the greatest integrity. Your essential loyalty has never been questioned. But all things have to be considered.
Such as?
Can you say in all honesty that you would never under any circumstances, reveal something of the nature of your work to one of your lovers?
No, of course not.
No, you would, or no, you wouldn't?
No, I cannot say, in all honesty, that such a circumstance would never arise. Neither can you. Who could?
That being the case, one's attention is drawn to your choice of lover. You seem to have an unusually wide range of acquaintances.
Oh, you mean it would be all right if I went to bed with other mathematicians? Preferably from one of the older universities. Preferably with what the Americans call security clearance.
Yes, I'm sure that would make us a lot happier. Sorry, that was rather glib. But you must realize that your work for the intelligence service means that you're simply not free to behave as you might choose. You have had extremely unusual access to secret information. That carries with it a heavy, if not irksome, responsibility.
I am aware of that.
Yes, I'm sure you are. It may seem like interference. In fact, we're trying to be helpful.
How?
By preventing any further error of judgment.
Meaning what, exactly?
This young Norwegian, Kell, I think it would be unwise of him to visit you here.
How do you know about Kell?
Somebody told me.
Who?
I forget. Truly.
Am I being watched?
We can't afford to take any chances, Mr. Turing. I'm sure you appreciate that.
Well, if I'm that much of a danger, you should get somebody to push me under a bus.
Yes, you must forgive me. I do tend to exaggerate the problem. It is, as I say, simply a question of keeping in touch.
Precisely what does that mean?
We'd like to be told of any change of residence, any change in your working life, any trips abroad, that sort of thing. You planning to go abroad this year?
Yes, I'm going to Greece.
When?
May.
Whereabouts in Greece?
Corfu.
That's very nice there. You'll like it a lot. May is the perfect time to go.
I want you to know that I have no regrets about my involvement with the intelligence service. The work I did at Bletchley was very important to me.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Yes, important!